lovers, welcome back to Free Spirit Equestrian. So today I am taking Prince Charming to a specialist that's about an hour away from the farm. So if you've been following along in his journey, so he was diagnosed with some high-low in his heels, which is completely fixable, and he's had chiropractic work, massage. We put special shoes on him for corrective shoeing purposes with pads and to help his ankles out. He definitely has improved since I got him, and I'm so happy. He's moving a lot better. However, my gut feeling just says that something is still off. I've been noticing some stiffness like in his pelvis and in his hind, and it could just be the front that's affecting the back, which is originally what I thought because that's normal and part of the healing process. But I just want to be sure. I don't want this to be a guessing game, and I want to get him on the fastest road to like health, recovery, and just moving the best he possibly can. So I'm not sure what the outcome is going to be today. But yeah, we'll see. Okay, I'm gonna go load him up and then we're gonna haul to this vet and we'll see how it goes. Wish us luck. So I have now owned Mr. Prince Charming for 2 months. I bought him from an auction, and if you have not seen that video, check it out. It's a must-see. Link is in the description, along with his other videos too. So this is going to be our first trip out since the auction. Of course, it's not for something really fun or super great, but it will be our second time trailering together. And yeah, we'll see how he does. Prince Charming is such a wonderful horse. He's been so kind, so gentle. He's doing so well with the herd and at the farm, and I just want to do everything I possibly can for him. He deserves the best, and I just want to, get him checked out, see where we're at, and then go from there. Okay, we just arrived at the clinic. He unloaded well. We put him in this waiting stall while we go and discuss everything with the specialist before we begin diagnostics. This was a very thorough examination. We did a lot of walk trot, we did serpentine, straight, we did lunging. You'll see a few other things that we do. So we did a lot of flexion. He went uphill, downhill. So this is the real deal. And then we went into an examination room where he got an ultrasound and we had more discussion and diagnostics. So very thorough. Okay, so you saw a little bit of the process that Prince Charming went through while the vet was evaluating him at the facility. Basically, what it came down to, the diagnosis was Prince Charming had an injury probably about 1.5 years ago. It could have been from being in a trailer. It could be from like playing out in the field or doing like a sliding stop motion. The vet said it's similar to like what would happen if your pelvis was jolted in a car accident, but horses can do that to themselves out in the field, of course, right? So basically what happened is the ligament on his right side by his hip was damaged. We did an ultrasound and there was like a lot of scar tissue there. It definitely was apparent that there was some type of injury there. And again, like we figured out, it was the ligament. So obviously he's been dealing with this injury for years. Like this is so sad. Like I feel so bad that people have been riding him, and so oftentimes like pelvic, hip, those kind of issues go so undetected just because of so much like deep muscle and tissue in that area, especially like in the lumbar region, in the pelvic floor. Like it's just really hard sometimes to pinpoint that. It's really interesting because there's nothing wrong with like his front legs, ligaments, or his hooves, besides a little bit of the high-low, but he said it's not enough to cause like a lot of lameness. The issue is because the right hip had that injury, it's pushing everything to the front, and the front end is trying to compensate, which makes sense like how he was moving. And I'm really glad that I decided to just go to the specialist, because so many people would be like, oh, well, he's just like an auction horse and you haven't had him that long. Like you're going to spend all this money and like go like see a specialist. Yes, I am, because I'm tired of like the guessing games. Like I want to know exactly what's going on with my horse so that I can get him on the fastest road of recovery. And thank God that I did this, because now he can be fixed. That's the prognosis. It's very positive. The specialist said that this is a very common thing to find in horses that actually come to a specialist, but he says it's also so common for them to go misdiagnosed for so long, and then people just end up throwing them away, which essentially, like, I feel like Prince Charming just would have been continue to be bounced from person to person because they're like, oh, this horse is lame, there's something wrong. Okay, there's something wrong, but like, let's diagnose and investigate it. Like, that's my responsibility, is like not only like a horse owner in general, but just as like a rehabilitator and like revitalization and like what I do for horses. I am so happy that Prince Charming and I crossed paths. Like I'm honestly just feel so happy that I'm going to be able to like fix him, rehab him, and it's going to be really great. So of course there's a lot of like mumbo jumbo. I just want to give you like the basic like diagnostics of what we did and the prognosis in layman's terms. Okay, so basically like the total healing time is 6 months. Now, I honestly think this is wonderful news. Like, this is great. Like, I'm just so happy that it's going to be like a positive outcome. For the first 2 months, he has to be in like a smaller paddock, and it's just hand walking like every day. We're going to do like frozen peas to help like cool that pelvic floor, that area, and reduce the inflammation, because right now there's a lot of inflammation and like fluid in that area. While it's healing, while the ligament is healing, it's still weak. So if you continue to stress it and then break it and like cause it to be atrophied more, it's already atrophied. So if you continue to move and like put strain on this, it's never going to grow back to its full strength. However, if you rehab them right, it completely can heal and the horse can be fully functional with zero limitations. So that is the good news. Prince Charming is going to be fully functional, and I'm just so happy that we can get him on the road to recovery and happiness, and that he's going to be able to have a fully functional life. I mean, honestly, it didn't matter like what the prognosis was, because I was going to take care of him, whatever path that may be. But in general, I'm just so happy that he can have a full healing process. Okay, so it's day 1 of rehab, and we have to walk 10 to 15 minutes on a harder surface every single day. Of course, it's raining today, but we're going to head out there. All right, buddy, let's go. We're just gonna walk up and down the driveway for a little bit. This helps to strengthen him while he's healing. So yeah, what do you think? He's like, now what are we doing? So I just want to bring up, this is what it takes when you buy horses from auction. It is not just sunshine, rainbows, and butterflies. It is blood, sweat, and tears, and there's a lot of unpredictability and risk that's involved as well. Oftentimes people will say, wow, you got a really good deal on that auction horse, or wow, that's amazing, so on and so forth, and they just think it's just this amazing process, which it is. However, they don't see the money, the time, the investment behind the scenes and what truly goes into it. And that is my entire point of this channel, is to show you some of those aspects along with like equestrian life in general. But as far as the auctions go, this is what is behind the scenes, guys. There's so much emotion and investment and training and a skill set that's involved with getting these horses. Prince Charming is my $10,000 lame auction horse, and I have not even sat on him once, and I don't care. That doesn't matter to me. I wouldn't trade this for the world, but I paid $5,200 and I have $5,000 into him, and we still have more to go. So I want you to keep that in mind and put that into perspective when you look at auction horses. All right, so now we are icing it to reduce inflammation and swelling. So I tried to find peas, but they only had, the blueberries, which are $8 versus, $1. So you bougie boy. So we're going to do this for about 10 minutes. I know. And as you can see, he's clipped here. So that was for the ultrasound and all that. What are we doing, huh? He's like, what in the world, lady, are you doing? It's going to help you, buddy. Also, I do not ask for donations, and I'm still not asking for them. However, I've had a lot of people email me recently asking me how they can help. So if you want to help, I have PayPal and Venmo. That is in the description. If you want to help out, you're more than welcome to. Again, like I'm really not about that. But if you do want to help the cause, there you go. I will keep you guys updated throughout this process, but I'm just really happy. And it was definitely like an emotional thing, just thinking of all that he's went through, and what if he had ended up with somebody else? Like, what would have happened? Like, I'm just so blessed to have him. So really hope you enjoyed, horse lovers. I'll see you next time. Bye.